This is Week in Review on Local 3.
Good morning and welcome to Week in Review right here on Local 3 News. I'm Grace Kramer and here are your top stories of the week. A Signal Mountain mother says her daughter's body was dumped behind an elementary school after the young woman died from an overdose 5 years ago. The family has upped the reward for information to $10,000 in hopes that someone will come forward with new information.
It's hard to grieve your loved one, my daughter, my child, when you're still fighting for answers, for justice.
Melody Clark has been fighting for justice after her 28-year-old daughter, Miranda Pace, was found dead behind Lakeside Elementary School in June of 2021. Pace's death was ruled an accidental drug overdose by the medical examiner months later. 5 people were indicted on drug and tampering with evidence charges related to the case. But Clark says the person responsible for that fatal dose in dumping her daughter's body has not yet been arrested.
There was several people indicted on her case. The detective at the time wanted me to settle for those indictments and just go on. And I'm like, that's easy for someone to say, but that was my baby. That was my child.
Clark says as she thinks about what would be her daughter's 34th birthday this year, she says her family needs closure, and the only way that will happen is with the truth. Clark says she is raising the reward money in the case to $10,000, hoping it will motivate someone to come forward.
Somebody knows, they're just afraid because of the environment, and I get that, but here we are again 5 years later, and I'm still pleading, and I'm still begging, and I'm just still hoping and praying that $10,000 will open someone's eyes and give them a fresh start. We need closure. It's hard to move forward, to grieve or anything when you don't have closure. And she deserves justice. I mean, her body was dumped out.
She adds she wants to send a message to other families that their loved ones matter, no matter their addiction.
I feel like if I can get justice for her, it will send a message to all these other families to not give up and to fight no matter what. She was not always an addict. I mean, the last few years of her life, she struggled, but that was not who she was. She's from a great family, a wonderful person.
Now, if you know anything about Pace's death, you are being asked to call the Chattanooga Police Department or Clark. We have both of their numbers up on our website right now. The Chattanooga City Council unanimously passed its budget for an upcoming year, and emergency operators are among those not getting a pay raise. Madison Sims spoke with officials who described this decision as a major disappointment.
A 911 dispatch center is one of the few places that never closes. And now the ones operating the phone lines are calling on the Chattanooga City Council to pay them what they deserve.
If public safety is truly a priority, why are the professionals who answered the call before anyone else still waiting for their turn?
On Tuesday, the Chattanooga City Council approved a budget that excluded a pay increase for Hamilton County 911 operators. City officials claim they just don't have the funds, but several operators aren't buying that.
The city has found funding for other priorities, including a 3% raise for city employees and a new litter initiative.
What is it that you deem more important than supporting the first responders who work so tirelessly to assist those who reside in this city?
Right now, the starting hourly rate for a county 911 operator is $19.27, making them the lowest paid dispatchers in the region.
To say that they don't deserve to be paid better, to be paid more than what it would take to qualify for food stamps, I just can't understand it.
The county's 911 board requested a multi-year pay increase that would be implemented over a 4-year period, but the city says they can't afford that at this time.
We're willing to sit down with anybody from the city that wants to talk about this and try to work it out. We have not heard from anybody from the mayor's office.
Carney says he plans to speak with members of the city council at the next meeting, and that this isn't the end of the department's fight for better pay.
I know that money is tight everywhere. Prices are going up, and that just underscores why we need this raise for our personnel that much more.
Madison Sims, Local 3 News.
The Brainerd High School community is mourning the loss of one of their own, Damian Stevens, a rising senior and outstanding student. His death is being felt across the entire Hamilton County area. Brainerd's executive principal, Dr. Crystal Sorrells, describes Damien as a hardworking student, a jokester, and a magnet for joy and excitement. He was a member of Brainerd's soccer team, a dual enrollment student, and a member of the Mayor Womps 40 program, an initiative designed to offer support and mentorship to young male students at Tyner and Brainerd.
We are here even in the summer months, that our phone numbers, our emails, everything still works, that our resource center is still here and it is still available to support. We've got to now focus on those who seem to be doing incredibly well and make sure they're well internally where we might not see that there's a concern.
Now, Damien's death marks the 8th student loss this school year alone. Sorrells says that he and other students will be honored with an honorary diploma at summer graduation. School social workers and members of the district's crisis team will be on campus to assist students throughout the summer. There's a new way to keep E. coli and other diseases out of our water. You probably have driven right past it along I-75. Local 3's Sierra Rucker takes us along for an up-close look at these massive wastewater tanks and their impact.
Well, construction is still underway, but once it's complete, these tanks will be filled with 30 million gallons of wastewater in the city, and officials say that it'll improve odor and excess wastewater in Chattanooga.
This project brings real value to families who call this place home. It means cleaner water, healthier neighborhoods, and less disruption when the next storm rolls through.
The tanks are part of the Clear Chattanooga program. We took a tour of the construction site to see how it all works, and it starts with the diversion structure.
So once the flow starts coming up in a big rain event, it'll get to that certain elevation and kind of overtop that weir gate, where it will then flow down to the pump station.
The diversion structure diverts the excess wastewater from the existing sewer system into the pumping station, which would otherwise overflow into local waterways.
And then from the pump station, you'll have 1 to 3 pumps come on depending on the level of flow. Those kick on and then pump to the pump station, or to the tank, excuse me, where they'll then fill the tanks over a day or so.
The 2 massive tanks will hold 15 million gallons of wastewater each. We went inside this 4-foot wide hole to check it out.
As soon as it hits the pump station, then the odor control unit for the pump station will kick on.
Project leaders say the special system captures odors during operation.
We're pulling more air in than is coming in through the sewer system, so we are treating more air, the outside air as well as the sewer air.
That air is treated before it's released back out. Once the tanks are full, that water will flow to Moccasin Bend Treatment Plant. The projects took thousands of hours of planning, engineering, and craftsmanship to bring to life.
Every wall, every pipe, every pump, and every electrical component has been designed and installed by professionals committed to building infrastructure that will serve this community long after we're all gone.
The project has already generated $39 million in local investment, from purchasing local materials to maintaining local workers.
The $153 million project is set to be complete in 2027. Reporting in Chattanooga for Local 3 News, I'm Sierra Rucker.
Coming up next on Week in Review, a empty hospital sits empty in Fort Oglethorpe. We will tell you why that is and what leaders plan to do with it. That's coming up after the break. A Fort Oglethorpe hospital has been sitting empty for 5 years, and the community wants to know why. Lydia Nathan is taking a closer look at what's next for one of the oldest medical landmarks in our region.
This is Hutchinson Hospital, also known as the Post Hospital. It served the area from World War I to World War II. There's been some new additions added to the hospital, but now it just sits here vacant.
This is the namesake of the city of Fort Oglethorpe. You know, this is where it all started.
The historic Barnhart Circle in Fort Oglethorpe is home to war training camps, former soldier housing, and medical units. In 1904, the Post Hospital was built to serve military personnel and the community. Things changed decades later.
In the very early 1950s, some community leaders decided, let's build a community hospital here, a modern hospital that can serve the Northwest Georgia area. That's where Hutchinson Hospital was born.
Hutchinson Hospital operated under CHI Memorial, which is now known as Common Spirit. ENOTS LLC then donated the hospital to the Catoosa County Economic Development Authority. CHI continued to operate out of the space until moving to a new home. Years later, the hospital is now empty. The Fort Oglethorpe Historic Preservation Commission took to Facebook expressing concerns of the hospital being demolished.
I think it's time that we give back. I think we should do everything that we can to save it.
There were mixed emotions in the comments. However, some say you can't believe everything you hear.
It looks like, a diamond in the rough kind of thing, but let me emphasize the word rough. When that time comes, when someone does make that offer and says, hey, here's kind of what we're doing, the commissioners will weigh that, they'll consider that, and then they'll approve or disapprove a sale.
Catoosa County says that public input will matter, but for now the hospital is still in its early stages of being marketed. We'll keep you updated as this moves forward. Reporting in Catoosa County, Lydia Nathan, Local 3 News.
TDOT is responding to complaints from Chattanooga cyclists about its plans to remove bike lanes from Main Street. That project would widen the roadway by 2 feet and remove an existing bike lane along a quarter-mile stretch of the road. The goal is to improve safety, but some local cyclists say it could make things worse. TDOT says the road is too narrow to have both bicycle lanes and on-street parking. TDOT says that this new plan will provide 11-foot travel lanes and maintain on-street parking. The existing bike lane will be converted into a 3.5-foot buffer between the travel lane and parked cars. Bicyclists would have to travel in the same lane as other vehicles, but TDOT says it will add markings in the travel lane to help improve driver awareness. Coming up on Weekend Review, severe weather left behind extreme damage in parts of the Tennessee Valley this week. We're taking a look at some of those hardest hit areas coming up. A local nonprofit is testing for E. coli across 6 Chattanooga area swim spots. Madison Sims brings us those results.
There are all kinds of risks associated with visiting public swimming holes, and E. coli probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. But a recent study published by Waterways might make you think twice before you jump into any water. For the next 2 months, nonprofit organization Waterways will monitor the E. coli levels of 6 popular creeks and swimming holes across Chattanooga.
Big Saudi Creek Gulf, we're doing Greenway Farm, we're doing one of the launches out of Audubon Acres, and Middle Creek, Suck Creek, and then Rainbow Lake.
A report will be released every week, with the levels ranging from normal to elevated and high.
So we wanted to do it weekly as an education piece, just to show how water quality can change week to week.
The bacteria makes its way into waterways from wildlife and pets, sewage overflows, and heavy rain.
Way that the rainfall is capturing all of those pollutants, it's just taking it to the nearest creek or stream. So you're always probably going to see a spike in certain areas of E. coli.
And ingesting large amounts of E. coli could be dangerous. Symptoms could range from severe stomach cramps to bloody diarrhea.
You can get eye infections, and any open wounds, anything like that is a risk for infection. But yeah, it's mostly just gastro.
And most importantly, just because the water is clear doesn't mean it's clean.
Pretty solid if it's got really good flow. It's that stagnant water where you might see a film or you might see a lot of algae.
Waterways will be posting the results from each week of testing. You can access that report by visiting this story on our Local 3 News website. Reporting in Chattanooga, Madison Sims, Local 3 News.
Well, dozens of communities throughout our viewing area woke up to trees in their yards and power outages at the very beginning of the work week. Lydia Nathan was in Hickson to see some of that storm damage up close.
This is the aftermath of 3 trees falling, blocking in neighbors on Charlie Street in Hickson. Neighbors in this cul-de-sac in Hickson have had a frightening experience.
About 2 o'clock, we heard some loud cracks. The roots had pulled up and let the tree fall over and was hitting 2 other trees. Severe storm hit, and the winds got really heavy, and it pushed enough on the tree that did fall to go ahead and collapse all 3 of them together.
It was very stressful because so the tree came down last night about 6:30-ish. I have a 5-month-old daughter, so we're a little stressed trying to figure out how long is this going to take for the power to come back.
Tree companies across the Tennessee Valley slammed with removal calls.
People maybe didn't realize that they had any damage until this morning, leaving for work. So after about 8:30 this morning, the calls started coming in almost one after the other for about an hour or so.
Tyler says that their crews visit 10 to 20 homes every day. However, they have had additional crews to help assess the damages, even the CEO and team members in other roles. These neighbors say they are trying to look on the bright side of things.
I've known my neighbors across the street from me for a while, but this did give us the opportunity to meet him and his family. They just moved in maybe 2 months ago.
I'm just glad everyone's safe, and none of the animals, none of the people got hurt.
Neighbors tell me that they want to go ahead and cut down all the leaning trees to prevent something like this happening again. Reporting in Hickson for Local 3 News, I'm Lydia Nathan.
Coming up on Weekend Review, a Tennessee icon is opening up a tourist hotspot for the summer for the entire family. We'll tell you all about it after the break, but first, here's a look at our Storm Alert 7-day forecast. Welcome back. Dolly Parton's Travel Stop celebrated its grand opening earlier this week. It's her latest effort to bring Southern magic to road trips down I-65 this summer. The truck stop, just about 2 hours west of here, is inspired by Dolly's life on the road and her childhood memories. Mary Grace Copeland takes us there.
Right off of I-65 in Cornersville, Tennessee, is a place where kindness and Southern hospitality meet under one roof. That place is Dolly Parton's Tennessean Travel Stop.
A project that's been years in the making. Gregory Sachs bought the Tennessean Travel Stop in 2017 with the hope of bringing the community together. But Sachs wanted to see it grow. He wanted a place that felt like a home away from home.
And the vision is to build a place where everyone, truckers, travelers, locals, everyone feels welcome.
And who better to team up with than Dolly Parton herself?
As Dolly and I partnered up, her visions really made this as magical as it is.
In 2024, the Travel Stop began remodeling to create the place we now know as Dolly's Tennessean Travel Stop, a place that isn't your average gas station, a place where people can relax, eat, shop, listen to music, and feel at home no matter where they come from.
I think that kind of represents who Dolly is. She loves everyone, and this place kind of brings that to life, and so it's an honor.
Hey, hey, hey! I wanted to welcome all of you and say thank you for coming. We're very excited.
And Dolly Parton herself made her grand appearance for the ribbon cutting. And the love is in the details. Rhinestone instruments hanging from the ceiling and photos of Dolly's music career throughout the years shows just how much attention was put into the Travel Stop.
There's nobody better in the world, that personifies kindness and Southern hospitality than Dolly Parton.
Whether you're a Tennessee local or simply stopping by, from the outside to the inside, Dolly Parton makes history with her Travel Stop made for everyone.
If you need a break from your 9 to 5, come take a stop off of I-65. In Cornersville, Tennessee, I'm Mary Grace Copeland, Local 3 News.
Nearly 13,000 people were injured by fireworks just last 4th of July. And as we inch closer to Independence Day, the big 250, Local 3's Sierra Rucker shares some advice before we light that fuse.
Oh, for America's Big 250, we already know it's gonna be big and people are gonna go out with a bang, or should I say a boom. But there are some safety reminders to keep in mind before you light those fireworks.
It's an art show in the skies, from lighting the fuse to watching it burst.
The 250th anniversary is just huge. We're seeing just people be so happy just to be able to celebrate America. And they are going to watch the big shows, but I'm finding more and more people are wanting to shoot their own as well.
Ahead of the July 4th weekend, fireworks are flying off the shelves to eventually fly in the skies.
We are expecting record amounts of business this year, and we're already seeing it. We're picking up, people are busy with it being on Saturday, the weekend too. That makes a huge deal.
But every year there are firework-related accidents. Chattanooga Fire Department responds to calls including dumpster fires, structure fires, and brush fires. An important reminder as most of the area is still under a moderate to severe drought.
I think the main thing is have a water source nearby. That's always a good thing in case anything goes awry, it catches grass on fire, you can easily put it out.
To prevent injuries and fires, CFD shares these reminders. Don't be impaired, never hold them in your hands, point them away from people and homes, and soak your fireworks in water before tossing them out, and read the warning labels on the items you purchase.
Safety is our number one concern. So we have a lot of stuff written on our bags, like some safety tips and everything. Make sure you're on a flat surface so that everything is stable.
In Chattanooga, keep track of the clock. It is against the law to pop fireworks after 11:30 p.m.
To learn what firework laws are in your state, you can find that on our website at local3news.com. Reporting in Chattanooga for Local 3 News, I'm Sierra Rucker.
Sometimes it's best to leave those incredible displays up to the professionals. We have so many fireworks shows right here in our area next week. Look under the America's Stories section on our website to find events happening nearest you. And before we go, do not forget Local 3 News is airing an hour-long, very special on America's 250th birthday. Hear how the Tennessee Valley is ringing in the nation's founding, the incredible people that make the country so special, and so much more. Join us right here July 3rd at noon for our America's Story special. That is next Friday. Mark your calendars and tune in. Thank you so much for watching Week in Review. I'm Grace Kramer. You can stay up to date with Local 3 News at home, work, and even on the go. Follow us on Facebook, X, and local3news.com. Trends on 3 with Latrice is coming up next. Have a great weekend.